Every master was once a student who refused to quit. The path to inner mastery is not walked in a single day. It is not achieved through reading words or listening to wisdom. It is forged in the fire of real-life moments when everything inside you screams to react, but you choose stillness instead. Let me tell you about the monk who changed everything. His name was Master Li, and he lived in a small temple on the edge of a mountain. Every day, villagers would come to him with their problems, their anger, their pain. And every day, he would sit in perfect stillness, listening without judgment. One afternoon, a wealthy merchant arrived at the temple, his face red with rage. "You," he shouted at Master Li, "you gave my son terrible advice. Because of you, he abandoned his responsibilities, and now my business is falling apart." The merchant's voice echoed through the temple halls. Other monks stopped their meditation to watch. The merchant continued his assault, calling Master Li a fraud, a fool, a charlatan who destroyed families. Master Liu sat unmoved, not because he didn't hear the words, not because they didn't sting, but because he understood something the merchant did not. He understood that reacting to anger only creates more anger. After 10 minutes of shouting, the merchant ran out of steam. His voice grew quieter, his shoulders slumped, and in the silence that followed, something remarkable happened. The merchant began to cry. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I'm not angry at you. I'm angry at myself. I pushed my son so hard that he ran away. I made him hate the life I built for him, and now I've lost him." Master Liu spoke for the first time. "When you arrived, you came with a storm. I could have become the storm with you. We could have shouted at each other until the walls shook. But what would that have solved? Your pain would still be there. Your son would still be gone. The only difference is that we would both be exhausted and angry." He continued, "By staying still, I gave your storm a safe place to land, and when it passed, the truth could finally emerge. This is the power of non-reaction. When you refuse to meet anger with anger, you create space for transformation. Here is a truth most people never realize. Other people are mirrors reflecting your inner state. When you are calm, even aggressive people soften around you. When you are chaotic, even peaceful people become disturbed. This is not magic, this is psychology. Human beings are highly attuned to each other's energy. We mirror emotions unconsciously. When someone yells at you and you yell back, you are simply completing a circuit. You are giving them exactly what their nervous system expected. But when someone yells at you and you remain calm, you break the circuit. Their brain does not know how to process this. It expected a fight. It prepared for war. Instead, it found peace. And in that confusion, something shifts. Think about the last time someone cut you off in traffic. Your immediate reaction was probably anger, maybe even rage. You might have honked your horn, cursed under your breath, replayed the moment in your head for the next 10 minutes. But ask yourself, did that driver even know you were angry? Probably not. They drove away without a second thought. So who suffered from your anger? Only you. Your blood pressure rose. Your mood darkened.
Your day was poisoned by a 30-second interaction with a stranger you will never see again. This is the trap of reactivity. It feels like power in the moment, but it is actually slavery. You have given control of your emotional state to random people and random events. A stranger's carelessness now determines whether you have a good day or a bad day. Is that really the life you want to live?
Now, let's talk about something practical. How do you actually become the observer when emotions are rising? The Shaolin monks teach something called the gap, the space between stimulus and response. When something happens that triggers you, there is a tiny moment, sometimes less than a second, between the event and your reaction. In that gap, your freedom lives. Most people never notice the gap because they react so quickly. Someone insults them, and before they even finish processing the words, they are already shouting back. But with practice, you can learn to expand that gap. You can learn to pause. Here is a simple technique that has been used for thousands of years: the 3-breath rule. When you feel anger, frustration, or any strong emotion rising, before you do anything, take 3 deep breaths. Inhale slowly through your nose for 4 counts. Hold for 4 counts. Exhale slowly through your mouth for 4 counts. Do this 3 times. In those 3 breaths, something magical happens. Your nervous system begins to shift from fight or flight mode back to rest and digest mode. The adrenaline in your bloodstream starts to metabolize. The rational part of your brain comes back online. And most importantly, you remember that you have a choice. During those 3 breaths, ask yourself these questions. Number 1, what is actually happening right now? Not your interpretation, just the facts. Number 2, what emotion am I feeling? Name it: anger, fear, hurt, frustration. Number 3, is this emotion helping me or hurting me right now? Number 4, what response would my highest self choose? This is not about suppressing your emotions. It is about creating space between feeling and action. It is about choosing your response instead of being controlled by your impulses. Here is something that might surprise you. True strength includes the courage to feel. Some people misunderstand the path of the observer. They think it means becoming cold, emotionless, robotic. This is not mastery. This is avoidance. The observer does not ignore emotions. The observer witnesses them fully. There is a difference between reacting, acting from emotion without awareness, suppressing, pretending the emotion does not exist, observing, acknowledging the emotion fully while choosing how to respond. Let me give you an example. Imagine someone you love says something that deeply hurts you. The reactive response: "How dare you? You always do this. I can't believe you would say that to me." Escalation, attack, defense. The suppressive response: "It's fine. I'm fine. Everything is fine." Denial, bottling up, eventual explosion. The observant response: "I notice I feel hurt by what you just said. Can we talk about this? I want to understand what you meant." See the difference? The observer acknowledges the emotion.
I feel hurt, without being controlled by it. The observer creates dialogue instead of conflict. The observer stays connected to both their feelings and their values. This is what emotional maturity looks like. Most people live their lives playing the short game. Someone disrespects them, so they immediately defend their ego. Someone challenges them, so they immediately fight back. Someone doubts them, so they immediately try to prove themselves. But the master plays the long game. The master knows that winning an argument is not the same as winning respect. The master knows that proving you are right in the moment might mean losing the relationship in the long run. The master knows that some battles are not worth fighting, not because you would lose, but because winning would cost you something more valuable than victory. There is a story about a samurai who was insulted by a drunk man in the street. The drunk man called him a coward, spat at his feet, challenged him to draw his sword. The samurai looked at him calmly and said, "I could kill you in one stroke, but what would I gain? The respect of a drunk? The admiration of fools? I would lose my honor by fighting someone so beneath me." And he walked away. The crowd that had gathered was stunned. Some thought he was weak. But the wise ones understood. This was the ultimate display of strength. The samurai's ego was so unshakable that an insult could not move it. This is the long game. When you stop needing to prove yourself to everyone, you become unbreakable. When you stop reacting to every provocation, you become unmovable. When you choose peace over being right, you become unstoppable, because nothing can control you. Knowledge without practice is just philosophy. Practice without consistency is just a hobby. Mastery is what happens when you commit to the practice every single day. Here is how you train yourself to become the observer. Morning ritual. Set your intention. Before you start your day, take 5 minutes to sit in silence. Remind yourself, today I am the observer. I am not controlled by external events. I choose my responses. Visualize yourself staying calm in challenging situations. See yourself choosing peace over reaction. Throughout the day, pause and check in. Set reminders on your phone every few hours with a simple message. Are you the observer or the reactor right now? This simple check-in brings you back to awareness. Evening reflection. Review your day. Before sleep, ask yourself, when did I react instead of respond today? What triggered me? How could I handle that situation differently next time? When did I successfully stay in observer mode? What helped me maintain that state? This is not about perfection. You will fail. You will lose your temper. You will react when you meant to observe. That is part of being human. But each time you notice, each time you return to awareness, you are strengthening the observer within you. Here is the final truth that most people never understand. Inner peace is not the absence of chaos. It is the presence of stillness in the midst of chaos. You will never live in a world where nothing triggers you. You will never reach a point where everyone treats you with kindness. You will never escape difficult emotions, challenging people, or painful situations. But you can become someone who is not controlled by these things. You can become someone who experiences the storm, but is not swept away by it. You can become the mountain that watches the weather change, but never moves. This is not about becoming emotionless. It is about becoming emotionally sovereign. You feel everything, but you are controlled by nothing. The angry man shouts because he must. The peaceful warrior is silent because he can be. One is a slave to his emotions. The other is the master of his inner world. Which one will you choose to be? The path forward. The journey to inner mastery is not easy. It requires you to go against every instinct you have been conditioned to follow. It requires you to be still when everything in you wants to move. It requires you to be silent when everything in you wants to scream. But this is the path of the warrior, not the warrior who fights external enemies, but the warrior who conquers the chaos within. Remember, you are not your emotions. You are the awareness that observes them.
Stillness is not weakness. It is power under control. The gap between stimulus and response is where your freedom lives. Every moment is an opportunity to practice. The master was once a beginner who refused to quit. The observer within you has always been there, waiting for you to remember. And now you have remembered. This is your path. Walk it with courage. Walk it with awareness. Walk it in silence. For in that silence you will find everything you have been searching for. This is the way of the silent warrior.